Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wrestling Wednesday right here, the To Be Determined show, Beyond Ringside Radio Network. I'm the Oracle of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis. Joining me is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Beyond Ringside's own Fast Eddie Lane. Eddie, how you doing tonight?
It has been a beautiful day, and it's going to be a crazy night, if you know what I mean.
Oh boy, it's not just getting started. This is going to be one of those shows you want to tell everybody about. And, of course, the resident world champion, 3-time, but number one in our heart, the one, the only, Rena Del Piledriver herself, Tasha Simone. Tosh, how you doing tonight, sis?
3 billion people pissed off and billions more to go, and I can't wait to piss somebody off tonight. Who's first?
And, of course, from across the pond, we have our resident historian, the man that if you ask him when something took place, he can tell you right off the bat, the one, the only Mad Dog Matt didn't. Matt, how you doing tonight?
Unless it's when Kid Cash broke his jaw. Then I can't tell you shit. But it's a good day, I'm still alive, Corey's not here, so yes, it's a fucking beautiful day.
Aww. Yes.
Hi here. Aww.
Aww.
Yes. Yeah, the internet darling, Smarks Rage, will not be here tonight. Family emergency. Corey, we hope everything works out, sir. But tonight, though, we have a huge show, and it is going to be one of those shows that's just stacked. We have Naja from Progression Pro Wrestling tonight out of Atlanta with their upcoming event. You have TNA ECW superstar David. Don't call him Kid Cash. This is going to be kind of weird. It's going to be kind of weird. It's going to be hard. Oh, we won't. No, call him Kid. No. And let me tell you guys something right now. We want to thank Melinda Blue and Tasha Simone for setting this interview up. It's very hard for us. We've had this conversation Beyond Ringside, but I don't think we've had it on To Be Determined show. It's very hard for us, not so much Eddie. Eddie's pretty cool about it, but Tasha and I, it's very hard for us to book somebody that we don't know, because it's weird to go up to somebody like, hey, you want to be on my radio show? That's just not how it does. People instantly, like, you have a radio show? Are you exposing the business? That's not what this is about. Everybody knows this is an educational environment, if you will. And we're also going to have some breaking news tonight. GCW has some huge breaking news, and it's going to be a great show, April 27th, and the Oak Mountain Amphitheaters. This is on. But we want to thank and welcome somebody right now, somebody that's been keeping the word out, the one, the only, the former GCW heavyweight champion, Mr. O'Hagan. Mr. O'Hagan, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Well, we appreciate you calling in. I know you're getting ready for this interview. I know you've got some great stuff coming up next week, sir, and we're going to this is a stacked show. We're going to go ahead and tell everybody we may run an extra 15, 20 minutes to get all this in, but really quick, we're going to start it off with a bang, everybody. Just, the man has so much on his mind. This is the 3rd edition of this segment, and this is a segment that everyone seems to love. It is Fast Eddie Lane's own My Side of the Coin. Eddie, what is your side of the coin this week, sir?
I was asked earlier in the week, after this past Monday night Raw went off the air, was it a pass? Was it a fail? Did they succeed in what they wanted to do? This past Monday night, in my humble opinion, was a show that was supposed to be positioned to launch new storylines, build upon the aftermath of Mania, and at the end of the night, I don't know what to think. I'd like to say I would watch it one more time and form a deeper opinion, but honestly, even with acid reflux or without acid reflux, I don't think my stomach can handle it. Match of the night Monday night was Cesaro Kingston. Excellent outing by 2 great professionals. Somebody in one of the message boards said, well, Cesaro was buried. Cesaro was not buried. That was a great match. I don't care who says what. I mean, go back and watch the match again and say that somebody was buried. Don't think so. R-Truth, Wade Barrett, it was an okay match, but it just felt like it was out of place. To have almost every standing champion suffer a fallback Monday night on Raw was not a good way to build credibility for your champions. Your champions have to seem strong, yet vulnerable at the same time, especially working the dark side of the fence. Understandable concept, but you still have to make them look strong at the same time as looking semi-vulnerable. That way there is a credible chase for the gold. They had a great thing in place, building Ziggler into the epitome of what you could call a tweener. They screwed the pooch Monday night so bad it wasn't even funny. But, you know something? I think they're afraid to put someone in that role. Same thing with Fandango. They had the perfect chance to get him even more over with the fans, but failed miserably. Sheamus, Orton versus Big Show. I tell you the truth, they should have let Randy go heel. But the thing about it is, Big Show turns heel, goes face, turns heel, goes face. Randy Orton turns heel, goes face more times than I change socks or buy new ones. For those who know me, yes, I'm often buying brand new socks. That's a regular thing for me. But it just... Show is a more likable character. And Orton's just, in my book, too heelish to be a long-term marketable babyface. And please don't, for the love of God, get me started with the Carnival Sideshow, Khali, Hornswoggle, and Santino. Almost like Job Squad version 2.0. But worse. A lot worse. And, speaking of Job Squads, 3MB. I was really hoping that they would have done a gimmick with the Shield. Hell, WWE can't keep their own tag team scene in order. They have all but destroyed the primetime players, and they could have been really great. Let me swing back over here real quick to Mike 1, because we got a good friend coming in. You know, did WWE succeed in what they wanted to do this past Monday night? No. Plain and simple, pass fail. In my humble opinion, major league fail. That part done. Let me get to this real quick before I wrap up my side. There is a major show coming up in the state of Georgia. Blue Ridge, Georgia, to be exact. 360 Rebel Circle. It is going to be Grappling for Grable. It is a pro wrestling fundraiser for the iconic name in women's wrestling, Joyce Grable. Doors are going to open at 5:30. Bell time is going to be 7 o'clock p.m. Tickets for adults and 12 and over, $10. Under 12, $5. It's going to be a ladies over-the-top rope battle royal featuring Cherry Lane, Jessica Wetmore, Miss Rachel, BB Cook, Lady Amazon, La Great Cheyenne, Sabrina, known as wrestling's Wonder Woman, Christy Cluxton, Sex Kitten Kathy, Moondog Fifi, Misty James, Gina Balassi, and Lady X. And I have this really weird piece of information that somebody that is more or less family for the To Be Determined show is also going to be on this event in a one-on-one matchup. And it's the battle of...
I'm going to whip Tiffany Rox's ass, you know it.
It is a battle of former NWA Women's World Champions as Tiffany Rox takes on our very own Tasha Simone. Folks, mark your calendars, make your plans in the Peach State of Georgia. That is going to be a great show. Tasha, do me a favor. Tell everybody exactly when this is again. We lost her on the line for a second. Folks, yeah. It's okay. But we're going to have more information coming up about this show in time to come. But right now, let me go ahead and say, for right now, my friends, that's my side of the coin. Wicked Nemesis, back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie, I don't know if you have the breaking news handy, sir, but if you will, while I get this gentleman ready, we are being joined right now by the GCW heavyweight champion. So if you will play that music, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we are being welcomed, and we are offering you Mad Dog Dan Sawyer with breaking news on the To Be Determined show. Mr. Sawyer, if you will.
Well, it's a hell of a week coming up next week with Global Championship Wrestling. On Friday night, we got the State Fair there at the Oak Mountain State Fair. Come out and check that out. But the big news, joining up on the Pell City show, April 27th, Pell City, Alabama, 7:30 Central Time. The dog collar match between Micah Taylor and myself will be a big thing to see. The Unlucky Charms, the GCW Tag Team Champions, a great thing. But this, straight out on the news today, the dog-faced gremlin, one half of the Steiner brothers, Rick Steiner, as featured on WWE today as the wrestling tag team on WWE.com, will be taking on the King of Swing, Johnny Swinger. So come and check it out. One half the Steiner brothers, Rick Steiner, making his third appearance ever in Global Championship Wrestling. Last time was in 2003 at the Belleville Auditorium, but he will be in Pell City, Alabama, Saturday night, April 27th. Come on out and check it out.
Man, that is huge news. Great timing, too, by the way. WWE putting out, and then boom.
I know that he put himself over. We was doing a conference call today. He's like, hey, don't forget to mention in the radio that we're the featured tag team today. On the WWE.com. I was like, all right. All about it. So, I'm Steiner line to Swinger. And he's going to be saying, Steiner, do I owe you money? I thought Chris Knox was stiff. You know, good God.
My wife's exact words. My wife's exact words when I told her that Steiner's going to be in there. She's like, "Oh," and he thought Chris was stiff. My wife's from Mexico. My wife spent the first 20 years of her life in Mexico. She knows who the Steiners are. She knows Rick. She knows Scott. And I'm telling you guys right now, Swing Time, respect Swing Time. Rick Steiner does not play. I think we've all at least worked one show with Rick or one event with Rick, and he is fucking Rick Steiner. Plain and simple. That's him. That is him. That is
two dogs on one show. Mad Dog and the Dog-Faced Gremlin.
Well, I was going to ask you about this too, Mad Dog. You have Swinger. You have it's now been. You also have your dog collar match. Also, I thoroughly enjoy the posters that have been put up for the Oak Mountain State Fair and for the 27th. But the Unlucky Charm's no longer on the poster. You know what that means? That means somebody's getting stabbed Saturday night.
Yeah, exactly. We're going off Verza Brody on somebody's ass, you know?
I guess. But how hard was it? How hard was it to get Rick on the show? Because, I mean, you know, Rick, he is very selective in his events that he does. I mean, how did this come about? I mean, without exposing too much, I mean, was it hard to get him on the show?
No. He called me, and he's like, hey, I'd like to do something, and we were talking about for the summer and bringing him and Scotty both in and putting them against the Charms. I'll just be honest. I mean, might as well expose the exposed. So it's like, I got this real good tag team. I want you and your brother to come in. And I said, sometime this summer, I said I would like to do that. It's a big deal. I said, these guys have got it, and I want to show they got it. So why don't I put them against one of the best tag teams in the world? You know, the Road Warriors are, one half is still there, but, I think Steiner's one of the greatest tag teams still able to go, and big brute force guys that can actually take it to the mat. So that's how it all started, and Swinger was already booked for the 27th, and, we started talking, emailing, Facebooking. Thank God for that Facebook, see? That's where it all came into play, because that's how he got in touch with me. But my number stayed the same from 2003, and his has changed because of his shoot job. But, that's the way it all started, talking about the Charms and the GCW Tag Team Championship, and he was bragging about how he likes that we actually have tag teams in Global Championship Wrestling, not just two. And I told him about the tournament and all that kind of stuff. So we've crossed paths several times in Georgia and Alabama, and I actually worked the big JOB to the Steiner brothers. Tag team partner was Storm Roberts. It was a black guy from down Dothan, and we worked the JOB in the Mobile Civic Center for WCW main event. So, thank God I didn't take the Frankensteiner. And I just want to say thank you for that. But I did take the Steiner line, and I did take the belly to belly. But that was a much smaller Dan Sawyer back in those days. But we'll see what's going on. The last time I saw Rick, he was on a show for GCW, and it was a night problem, myself versus him, and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And he couldn't believe that Dusty was going to be his partner. He's like, man, Dusty's my partner. You should be my partner. Because Night Prowler was there without his makeup on. So it was kind of funny. So I told him, I'm that guy. Oh, yeah. So that's how we got it. So the 27th of April, Pell City, just another reason to come watch Global Championship Wrestling. We try to get back to the fans, show some appreciation to their loyalty to us on social media, listen to our radio programs and all that kind of stuff. So here's just another perk for coming and watching Global Championship Wrestling.
Well, I want to ask someone who's actually on the line right now, Mr. O'Hagan. Mr. O'Hagan, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about Rick Steiner coming in and Because it has been blowing up Facebook, as I'm sure that you've seen already, sir.
Oh, I'm definitely excited about it. Anytime you get someone like that in the ring, it usually, he usually hurts people, I think. So it'll be interesting to see what him and Sawyer can do up in there. But I'm going to tell you right now, I hope it didn't go after me, because I'm going to be a tough act to follow when I hurt somebody this week or next weekend.
Here we go. I hear it already. It's starting to build up. But, Dan, we appreciate you coming on anytime for the breaking news, sir. We're going to ask you, if you will, to come back on later on and after our interview, if that's okay with you, sir.
Yeah, just tell me what time to buzz
yes, sir.
back in. All the phone lines were so busy tonight, man. I had a hard time getting through there. So what time do you guys want me to buzz back in?
We actually have Naja coming on at 10:30 to talk Progression Pro Wrestling, so we'd like to have you on back then. This is a promotion starting up out of Atlanta. You actually got to hear Golden De La Vega speak about it. So we were contacted by Georgia Wrestling Nows and Wrestling with Pop Culture also. Jonathan Williams, he helped set up this interview. And, a bunch of young guys. Dan, O'Hagan, you know about this. A bunch of young guys starting up a promotion and, feeling that this is their time. They're not waiting for somebody. They went out and grabbed their own. We all can we can all respect that, can't we?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. But
especially
don't run down the guys that came on before you. That's the thing, I'm all about. We were those young guys at one point, trying to just bite, snatch, hold on, shoot, hook, whatever we could to get a spot. So I do respect that, definitely. But don't try to piss on what's gone before you. That's the only thing. I respect people going out there and being guys with integrity and trying to make things happen, being a concept and a trigger man. Hard to find that in this business. A lot of bullshit talking about how somebody's going to put a show here, there, and everywhere, and if we get a couple fucking light bulbs and some pans, we're a performer. If we bleed, we're over. We're over. If we can rent a ring from High Spots or from the local thrift store, we're a promotion. Don't you know that? Because I'm wearing a T-shirt. If I wear my Avenged Sevenfold T-shirt, I'm over. Don't forget that. All you kids listening, that's the way you get over in this business. If you bleed and wear a T-shirt from Hot Topics, you're over.
Well, I think we all need to let everybody in on a little secret. You can, in this business, you don't wear the guys from WWE shirt. You don't wear that.
Nope.
You wear the guys that you work with. Like if O'Hagan had a shirt, I would wear an O'Hagan shirt. O'Hagan would wear an Unlucky Charm shirt. A J-Rod shirt or a Crew Jones shirt. Crew Jones would wear. I have a problem with guys that show up for shows in like a CM Punk shirt or show up in a Rock. I'm like, dude, you make this all look bad. It's like somebody that actually is a friend of mine that is trying to be a manager, DeWitt Dawson. I saw a picture of this man with a cigarette in his hand. Pandora with the UIW Ladies Champion, and he has a cigarette in his hand. And I'm like, dude, lose the cigarette. You have to. People forget that. We have to be above the fans. Not better than fans, but we have to be above the fans. If you look like you just come out of Walmart and you get in the ring, holy crap. Those fans are not going to relate to you. They're going to be, that's my pawpaw. It's my pawpaw's brother Jim.
That's my drunk Uncle Bill.
Yeah, I play football with him. I play football.
Exactly.
I play football, boy. Look at him. But y'all know how it is.
You never wear the shirt of the band you're going to see.
Exactly. Exactly. I think that encapsulates everything about wrestling. Never wear the shirt of the band you're going to see.
What about the Deep Space Nine T-shirt? Is that okay? I heard the kid in the Deep Space Nine shirt got a blowjob.
Don't.
But then he had to say, "Oh, I can't get a blowjob because my knee hurts."
It's going down. Going down in flames. Wow. I think so. I think Ant hit somebody with a verbal Steiner liner.
It sounds like somebody should be red shirt security.
I'm very excited to see Jake Cole and Rick Steiner. We have two of the biggest clotheslines in the business today. This is going to be exciting, gentlemen. But
I want to ask you, man. Now, I hear that Damon Taz, Unlucky Charms, is going to be in singles competition for the first time ever in GCW wrestling as being one of the Unlucky Charms. Now,
Damon Taz is dead, so I hope not. If they
sorry. Oh, yes, Damon Christopher. Excuse me. Yeah,
yes, sir.
Dude, I'm never going to stop saying that. I'm so sorry. I apologize. The deepest of my taint. I apologize.
You're apologizing to someone who still calls me Blur.
Shut up. Shut up. Yes, I know. I just want to say that. I think, oh, Blur. But you have to remember, though, Damon, 16 years. 16 years as Damon Taz. And I don't know how long ago Hagen went as Blur, but, the first 6 years I knew the guy, he was Blur. So
Exactly.
But Damon Christopher has actually wrestled twice outside of GCW as one half of the Unlucky Charms because we all know Chris Knox legitimately does MMA and does bare knuckles fighting. It's plain and simple. And he was afforded an opportunity in Kentucky to go to a bare knuckles brawl. I've talked to Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. And Dan understands, you can't fault a guy that's going to make the promotion look good. And what's even better than that, he's actually wearing his GCW tag team title out to the match. So, hey, I feel sorry for all those guys. I feel sorry when they see that big iron up. But, Dan, like I said, we invite you back during our interview with Naja. We're getting ready to bring on Kash and have Kash probably shoot on everybody and everything. So, this is
awesome.
Going to be things. Yes, sir. So,
thank you, guys. I appreciate it. See everybody April 27th for Rick Steiner, Johnny Swinger, Dog Collar Macho, Hagen, Unlucky Charms, and the whole GCW roster. It's going to be good times. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. To be determined. Nemesis, Eddie.
Mr. Sawyer, 10:30. We will see you.
Miss Tasha. I hope she's back on. And Mad Dog Matt Denton. And where's our diabetic? I haven't heard him say anything tonight.
Well, he has had a family emergency, and he will not be on this week, unfortunately.
Oh, man, I hate to hear that. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, yes, sir.
We miss you. And all right, see you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Sawyer.
Peace, brother.
I'll talk to you guys at 10:30.
Okay, thank you, O'Hagan. We appreciate it, sir. 10:30 we're bringing everybody back on for Naja's interview. Naja's a hell of a guy. Not only does Naja also wrestle, he also is a hip hop star. This man has formed his own record label and produces his own music. I think Vandal also does some work with him on his. So, I mean, this is not just a one-dimensional guy. This is not a two-dimensional guy. This is a multi-dimensional guy. Naja is one of those guys. You don't know him. You've probably heard his music because a lot of the guys in the South use his music because he's cool about it. So it's going to be one Progression Pro. April 27th, April 26th for GCW. It is, and then next week we have Crew Jones, Highlight Live's Crew Jones, coming on to talk about NWA Atlanta's War Games they have coming up. And then, of course, as we talked about, Danny Only will be calling in live from Afghanistan. We're going to go ahead and warn everybody there will be a little bit of delay in between what we ask him and what he said, but you have to remember, though, he's several hours ahead of us, and he is in Afghanistan doing the damn thing. But really quick, before we take our break, it has to do with sports. It has nothing to do with wrestling. But my heart and prayers for my family and myself go out to all those affected for the Boston bombings. Uncalled for, cowardly act. No matter who did it, all the conspiracy theories, understand that. But there was humans affected. There was a loss of life. There was a tragedy that befell the human race, not just, because it wasn't just Americans affected. Boston Marathon, people come from all around the world to the Boston Marathon. And really quick, I want to give everybody an opportunity to send their thoughts and prayers. I know we have some people from Boston. I've seen the downloads. I've seen what we do on YouTube. I know that we have quite a few people that listen in Boston, so not just to the people of Boston, but everybody affected. Our hearts and prayers go out to you. Eddie.
Yes.
Anything you would like to add to that, sir?
I think that what happened in Boston, Massachusetts was a heinous act perpetrated by a complete and total coward. My heart and my mind are definitely in the directions of those who we lost on that day and all the injured and the families of everybody involved in this. Because, it's one thing to just stand up and say, I'm against, but by the same token, it's not a daredevil, it's not a soldier. It's a coward that pulls something like this.
Ooh, I'm gonna blow you up, son. You're never gonna know who I am.
You pissy-ass little bastard, stand up and take credit for it. Guess what? You don't have to worry about the military. You're dealing with Boston, which is kind of like New York. They all have very solid family ties and street gangs. I'd rather let them do it than the military. They'll get it done faster and under budget, Wick.
Yeah, for those that saw my post on Facebook and on Twitter, I think they chose the wrong city to mess with. Boston, don't want to mess with those Irishmen. But there comes a point in time where you have to put your foot down. The whole point of terrorism is to strike terror into everyone around it to readjust your life. And I think that they actually accomplished that as they did in 9/11, but you have to persevere. Matt Ditton, your thoughts, sir?
You know what really gets me about this whole Boston situation is the sheer amount of people that I had to deal with in the wake of it who are like, oh, shut the fuck up, at least it's not as bad as 9/11 or some shit.
And thank you for that, too. It shouldn't have fucking
happened at all.
And thank you for that, sir.
I don't need to be thanked. It's common courtesy to the people who have been affected by it. It's like, why do people... The reason this whole shit started was because somebody decided that it was a good idea to post on Twitter plugging their own shit within half an hour of the bombing saying, oh, watch this life-changing announcement. And I'm like, dude, too soon. And people attack me? Fuck that. Fuck that right in the goddamn ear. And fuck those people too. My thoughts, prayers go out to people in Boston, people affected by it. But, it's just fucking senseless.
And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're going to take our first break of the evening. When we come back, former ECW legend, former TNA star, Kash, right here on the To Be Determined show.
Tim McGraw. Heating up summer with his 2 Lanes of Freedom tour, presented by Pennzoil. Tim McGraw, live with all your favorite hits. May 2nd to 7 p.m. at Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Plus special guests, Bradley Gilbert.
Country must be country wide.
And Love and Theft. Get access to preferred tickets with your city card. Reserve seat tickets are on sale now. Buy tickets at livenation.com or call 800-745-3000.
Stain on my white t-shirt. She was
Tim McGraw with special guests, Bradley Gilbert.
'Cause you don't know like I do.
And Love and Theft.
This is gonna be
one of those nights you will never forget. New album, 2 Lanes of Freedom, available everywhere. May 2nd, Oak Mountain Amphitheater, part of the Coca-Cola Star Series. Buy tickets at livenation.com.
The Mad Dog's House of Pain, the only nationally licensed pro wrestling school in the state of Alabama. Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, trained by the Junkyard Dog, will be your trainer. You want to be a professional wrestling superstar? Learn from GCW's own Mad Dog's House of Pain. With over 22 years experience, learn from the Mad Dog's House of Pain. 205-567-6482. Start your career today. Call 205-567-6482.
Ladies and gentlemen, the To Be Determined show right here, the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. This is the Wicked Nemesis, and we are jumping straight into it. Without any further ado, former ECW legend, former TNA superstar, the one, the only, by demand, Kash. Sir, how are you doing tonight, sir?
You forgot WWE, WCW,
Japan. I do apologize for that, sir. You have wrestled in just about every place that actually matters, and also the independent promotions. You're very well known for touring the independents, and also making sure that the locker room is straight. So we commend you on that. But let's start. Where did taking care of the locker room, sir? You're very known for taking care of the locker room, making sure that marks don't belong back there, and that people that don't need to be back there aren't back there. So we want to thank you for that. We're very big about policing the locker room in our business, and we have Tasha Simone back on. So I'm sure, Tasha, would you like to say hello to Kash?
Have I kicked you out of the dressing room before?
Me? Oh, hell no. No, sir. Absolutely not. I have kicked a few people out myself, sir, and I think we should police our locker room a little bit more. But how did it all begin? How did Kash come about, sir?
How did Kash come about? Well, I was born, and then I grew up. I mean, I just got into wrestling. I did a lot of MMA fighting and stuff and tournaments back whenever I was a teenager, and just was doing a lot of that kind of stuff before I wrestled, and then I wound up meeting the Rock and Roll Express one night. And Ricky Morton and I hit it off really well, and it just kind of went from there. Got in the car, and met up, and we just went on the road and never came off.
It has been rumored that you started at the age of 7 training. Is this correct, sir?
Yeah, boxing. My dad was in the Navy. He was a SEAL, and he boxed throughout his last few years of his service. So he boxed for the actual naval, team. He went the United States League pro. After that, and once he quit, he started teaching me how to box. I got into a fight one day at school, and I didn't fight back because your dad will always tell you, don't ever get kicked out of school or I'll whip your ass, So I thought I would get kicked out of school, so I didn't fight back, and he got pretty pissed, and so he just brought some boxing gloves home one day whenever I was 7 years old, and that was the beginning of my athletic career, really.
Now you're how did you bring the boxing into the wrestling, sir? Was there a transition to that?
No, it was all stages. I started boxing at 7, and we used to do like the YMCA, Pee Wee leagues and stuff like that, boxing tournaments and stuff. And the most crazy thing that ever happened to my life happened when I was about 10. We had a new neighbor move in, and he wound up in a SEAL too. But he was Kempo champion, and he did a lot of grappling and stuff. So, of course, him and my dad became like best friends in the world, So we just threw in, the old Miyagi style. My dad, my shut. Do anything I need you to do, and I'll martial arts in my garage. Every day after school, I would come home and I would go to my garage and learn boxing, and then I would jump over the fence and learn Aikido, actually, which I'm an actual black belt in, 4th degree, actually, right now.
How do you feel about some of these guys that use the karate and are trying to bring the MMA style to wrestling now? How do you feel about that, sir?
I think it's cool if you really know martial arts, but the majority just don't know martial arts. So they just watch UFC, and they see people like me and Rob Van Dam and a few other people that use it in their, wrestling. So they think that they can. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there with these gimmicks as shooters, and they don't know the first damn thing about shooting, So, I mean, it's cool if you know what you're doing, and if you actually have that background, because you can make it look a lot more crisp. And, these kids are just going for holds and moves. They're not doing the whole 9 yards with it. So, a lot more than just grabbing on a cool shoot hold.
Take us, if you will, through your first wrestling match. What was it like? Were you nervous? Were you apprehensive? Did you know going in that there was greatness ahead of you, sir?
Hell no, man. My first match was Wahoo McDaniels because Greg Valentine didn't show up, and somebody needed to step in, and Ricky Morton threw my name in there, and that was actually my first match. I wound up getting my ankle broke in a spinning toe hold of all things, and he did it because I didn't know what carny was, and nobody had taught me carny. And I couldn't understand a word this man was saying, and he finally just got pissed off for me saying, huh? What? Huh? So he wasn't one to fuck with to begin with, and he basically just chopped me so hard in my chest that it knocked the breath out of me, and then when I was down on my hands and knees trying to get my air, he kicks me in my side. I roll over, and he puts me in a spinning toe hold, looks at me and says, "Welcome to the business, kid." And he snapped my ankle blatantly, put his foot on my chest, and counted me out. That was my first match.
There's not many people that have a first match like that. Do you think that helped you in your career, sir?
Oh, yeah, it pissed me the hell off. I wanted to kill that fucking Indian, man. Let me tell you what. I was a professional shoot fighter whenever I was 18 years old, bro. You know, I mean, I was touring and actually fighting in tournaments and going, you know, to like Japan and places like that, Canada, you know, really doing stuff, 18, 19 years old. So, yeah, I wasn't scared of him, but I was just taught the respect of the business. You know, you respect your elders, you respect, you know, who they paved the way for you. So that's what I was doing, I thought. But I wound up wrestling him 6 months later in Richmond, Virginia, and it was a completely different story. So, and he remembered me as soon as I walked in the dressing room, and he kind of laughed a little bit. But when we got in the ring, my martial arts came out. I was kicking him hard, I was chopping him hard, and he was having to pretty much fight to keep me down as far as, you know, taking any kind of heat on me and stuff like that, you know. So, and I took everything that, you know, that I got. And whatever he gave me, I gave it right back. And at the end of the night, he actually shook my hand and told me I was a credit to my profession. So I took that as a, you know, a pretty good slap on the back.
Do you feel that you actually bringing it and standing your own to a gentleman like Wahoo? Because a lot of those guys, it seems, that's when they give you respect, sir. Do you feel like that was when the respect was given, sir?
Well, of course it was. I mean, why else would he respect me? You know, I don't respect anybody that, you know, if I go into a match, I worked, you know, extra stiff anyway. You know, I mean, there's no secret to that, you know, but when I go in there, if you're not giving me what I'm giving you, then sorry for you. Then I'm just going to eat your lunch. You know, you should be man enough to stick up for yourself. You know, it only makes for a better match.
How did you come to ECW, sir?
I'm not a punk like some of these motherfuckers are. I don't go out there and grab a wrist lock and say, ow, that hurts. You know? I say, crank it, motherfucker, because this time I come around, I'm going to break your wrist. You know? I mean, so, I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, you want this, you got to have all these fans around the world, you know, knowing that this shit's stake, okay? I mean, why not? Vince McMahon or Bischoff on a worldwide television one day and let the whole world know our secret, you know? Not that they didn't already know it, but they just didn't know for real. But I'll tell you one thing, whenever I go out there, you're wondering when you leave if Kid Kash really beat the shit out of that kid that he was wrestling. And 9 times out of 10, I was.
How did you come to join ECW? Because you joined right there when everybody it seemed was watching ECW, sir.
I was watching it one night on TV. I said, I can do that. And I found out where they were, and I drove all the way from Johnson City, Tennessee to Philadelphia, and I walked to the back fucking door, and I walked in. And luckily people knew who I was. I talked to Paul Heyman. He says, you got your gear? And I said, yeah. And he goes, good, you're on in 15 minutes. I walked out there, and the crowd already knew who I was, the smart marks. And the crowd started chanting rock and roll whenever I went to the ring. It was at the Rock and Roll Express, of course. You know, and my name was Davey Morton. Actually, it was David Jericho. But everybody in the crowd just started chanting Morton. And when I got out there, we had one hell of a match. And when I got to the back, I said, did you like it? And he goes, just come back tomorrow. And I never left.
Somebody that's been biting at the bit to talk to you is back on the line. Tasha, you're on with Kash, ma'am. She's muted her phone. Tasha.
I'm muted. I'm letting him talk all he wants to.
Tasha, somebody that you are no stranger to, ma'am. If you have a question, comment, or concern for Mr. Kash, ma'am, please go ahead.
Oh, negative. That's the one person that I know can tie me up.
Okay. And you just heard that. That's the first time Tasha been... Oh, my God. Why did you throw that in there? You see, you couldn't leave well enough alone, and you got to just stab at the bear. Eddie.
Yes.
Going with Mr. Kash, sir.
First off, sir, it is a definite pleasure and an honor to make your acquaintance. Thank you for taking the time to come on board this evening. I actually have a 2-part question I'd like to ask. And this has become a signature question for when I have the opportunity to do interviews. Whether it be to relive or redo or one of each, and I know this is asking you to call upon a bunch of different memories, but if there was one match right now that you would like to have back, whether to experience it all over again or do something a little bit differently. For you, what would that match be?
Honestly, none of them, because I've never had a bad match. I don't. Everything that I've always done in this business, I've worked my ass off for. So any title that I've ever held, I deserved it. I worked my ass off for it. If I hadn't, then they wouldn't have done it. They wouldn't have put the belt on me. So I can be honest. I've had some great times, great memories, but 9 times out of 10, any match that I've ever been on any show, I was usually the match of the night. I've never really looked at it where I would change anything, because I'm very secure and satisfied with my ability and always have.
And on the flip side of the coin, is there one that you would like to relive that just meant that much to you and you had that much fun doing?
No, because I'm one of them people. I've been there, I've done that, and time to roll on, man.
Now, one thing, Cash, that everybody wants to ask about, and I especially, the broken jaw, sir. If you will, tell us what led up to that. Clear the air, if you will, because there's been several rumors that it was a shoot, that, et cetera, et cetera. If you will, tell us about this, because this is a story of legend, sir.
It wasn't a shoot. It was just sheer stupidity. We were in the Tabernacle in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
And we were doing a little tag team angle to go to the pay-per-view a couple of days later. And there was a tag team called the Ducks. Do you remember them? Oh,
yes, sir. We remember them.
Okay, they were just goofy, mindless, stupid-ass dumbasses. Okay? You had to feed them. You know what I'm saying? You had to, everything they did, you had to, hold your hand on.
So, yes.
There was a little schmoz at the end with Chetty and Nova and myself and Dorian and Roadkill and, just all of this going on. They were supposed to run in and, just kind of club us, and we were all going to, pill out, and then they ended in the middle, but that didn't happen. They slid in, got a little too jacked up on the Red Bull, and fucking slammed my ass, and then Bo Duck came off the top rope with a frog splash, and he just fucking overshot me, and his knees come down and, crashed me into the face. Broke my jaw. I knew it was broke as soon as it happened, and there was a confrontation in the back. I took an extension cable from one of the big-ass boom boxes, that sets up the stage, and I kindly cracked him right upside the back of his head. And then Tommy Dreamer and a bunch of people broke us up, and I went to about 4 different hospitals that night, and there was a flu epidemic going on. And so nobody considered a broken jaw a life-threatening issue. So the final hospital I went to finally got me in, just looked at me. They didn't x-ray anything. They just looked at me. They gave me some pain medication. I went back to my hotel. My throat was swollen because my wisdom tooth got broke and got lodged into my throat. It actually broke so hard that my wisdom tooth came completely out of my mouth, and I swallowed half of it. So it was making my throat swell, so I couldn't sleep, so I had to sit up, and I got in the phone book, and I went through every orthopedic surgeon in the phone book in the Atlanta area, and from about 12 o'clock at night till about 4 in the morning, and then about 6 o'clock, one of them called me, and I drove to Marietta, Georgia, and 8 o'clock they started wiring my face up, and that's it. I left there, went back to the hotel, cleaned my mouth out, took a shower, and then I drove to Cornelia, Georgia with Jerry Lynn. We did a tag team match there. Then we drove to Birmingham, Alabama, and I did a pay-per-view there. And then I drove from Birmingham, Alabama, back to Johnson City, Tennessee. Took a week off and then went back to work.
Now, for those that don't know, that Cornelia to Birmingham is, 4.5, 5 hours at least? And then Atlanta to Marietta is... I've made that trip several times. That is not a trip, especially... I want to ask you why. Why not just pack your bags up and just go home and take a week off? Why immediately? Was it because of the fans? Was it the adrenaline? Is because, why? Why immediately go back to the ring so soon, sir?
Because I'm a fucking man. I mean, you know what? This is not a business for punks and bitches. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is a business for fucking just straight up tough people. I mean, you know, we're getting our bodies thrown around every damn night. We're getting, you know, some young punk fucking drop kicking us in our goddamn nose and shit like that, and breaking it and shit like that. I mean, why not? My dad was a Navy SEAL. He went through freaking more shit than I could ever imagine. He put me through more shit than any of you people can imagine. You know, I mean, between him and my neighbor, you know, my original, you know, martial arts coach, I mean, these guys had me doing shit that you just is not conventional in this day and time, you know. I mean, so I'm just another breed of kind of a dude, man. I mean, I don't just lay down. I just can't see it, you know. It's not in me to say, okay, I give up. You know, to me that's punk, you know, and I'm not that. I'm fucking straight up Viking Thor, motherfucker. You know, I'm gonna go as hard as I can, as long as I can.
What was the reaction to the guys backstage? Because you and I talked off air. So the man that told me the story told me you were fucking crazy, plain and simple. Was that the reaction you got backstage, sir?
What, when I went to the pay-per-view?
Yeah, yes, sir. When you went to the pay-per-view, sir.
Yeah. Well, everybody's like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "I come to work." You know, I was on the fucking card. You advertised me, so I'm here to work. And he's like, "What? Your jaw wide shut?" And I was like, "Yeah, look, I got braces." You know, and they wasn't going to let me on, but I was really pissed at that point because I drove all that fucking way. So I just made it a point to go to catering, and I sat beside Paul Heyman, and the only thing that I could eat was mashed potatoes, and I had to, like, really fucking, like, soup them up with the gravy, and I sat there, and I took a spoon, and I slurped it right beside him for, like, an hour, like, just slurping it, and I looked right at him. I'd slurp it some more, I'd look right at him again. He finally looked, he said, "You're not going to leave me alone, are you?" And I'm like, "Nope." He goes, "Do you want to work that bad?" And I was like, "Yep." And he was like, he said, "What are you going to do if I don't let you work tonight?" And I was like, "I quit." And he goes, "You're going to quit?" And I was like, "Yep, I will quit right now." And he was like, "Will you sign a release?" And I was like, "Yep." And we signed the release. And if you watch the pay-per-view, I went right out there and springboarded off the top damn rope, did a twist and helo plancha to the floor.
Well, actually, when you come out, the crowd was so loud, Mr. Cash, that it was amazing that you were there because it had been reported. Because at that time, the internet was, I know there was an internet, but it was all word of mouth. And, of course, everybody I knew was, "Oh, my God, did you hear what?" Now, the reaction when you come out is one that you don't hear too often. I think it was amazement. It was bewilderment. People couldn't believe you were there. And it was obvious that your jaw was wired up. When the Kid Rock ball with the ball hit, what was it like? Could you just, you know, sometimes you feel the fans? Tell us, if you will, what it was like.
To be honest with you, I was so fucking high on morphine. I'm not going to lie to you. They gave me liquid morphine, and I used it.
Shit. Look at
no, but
that.
I mean, if you saw me coming out, you saw my face about 3 times its size on one side. You know, I looked like fucking the Elephant Man coming out that sumbitch, man. My damn face was so swollen. My neck was swollen. You know, I think that's why the crowd, you know, they heard that I got hurt, and of course, I mean, you know, who the hell's going to show up the next night for a pay-per-view when you just broke your jaw, you know, 2 nights ago, you know? And yeah, the crowd was pretty intense, but I had to drink a half a bottle of morphine just to get out there and do that shit, you know? But I did it.
Did you ever get to hear Joey Styles' commentary and what he said when you come up? Because he just, I mean, in my eyes and my brother's eyes, we were not in the business at the time. You were like a fucking superhero because Joey Styles sold it as only I think Joey Styles can, and just, I mean, yeah, it was in your face, but
I am a fucking superhero. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, I understand you're I understand you're a Viking, sir. I understand that. But now,
I never heard what he said, so I don't. You know.
Oh my goodness! Guilty as charged. I believe it was 99, sir. When that was. Who? Now you are a fan of the business, obviously. Do you get to watch anybody else's match, sir? Is there somebody that you're a fan of that you happen to see at shows, that you happen to see on TV, you happen to pass by? You're like, that is the future of the business. I enjoy watching such and such.
I hate to disappoint you guys, but I'm really not a wrestling fan. I don't watch it at all. Never really have. The only thing I watch is my matches, and then that's it. I don't really care. You know, my day at home is spent, you know, the majority of my day is MMA training, and then I go to the gym and work out and stuff. So I don't really watch wrestling.
Well, then let's ask you this. Who's your favorite to watch in MMA?
Who's my favorite to watch in MMA?
Yes, sir.
I got a couple of different favorites. I mean, just boxing stuff, St. Pierre for his athletics. But a lot of guys out there that are very, very talented, so.
What did you think about Brock making the transition from wrestling to UFC back to wrestling? Did you look at him like, man, fuck that, I can do that. I can do that better.
I could still fighting, even though I've always kept fighting life and my wrestling life separate. It's just the way I've always done it. Even my years in ECW, my years in TNA, except for WWE, there was just absolutely no time for it. But all my years that I've been wrestling, I still followed. I just didn't, 5 times a year like I used to. I would do maybe 1 year, a couple of years or something like that. Stayed with it, just not, that's something that I never gave up. But like I said, I'm a 4th degree black belt Aikido. It takes years and years of training to get to that level, so I couldn't stop. Still do it to this day. It's my daily routine.
Are you a fan, because I asked this question to everybody that is in martial arts, are you a fan of Bruce Lee?
What do you think, stupid?
I know a lot of people that are not fans of Bruce Lee that think that Bruce Lee was nothing more than a gymnast, so I think, is that stupid of a question?
Well, I think those people who think he was a gymnast can make my fucking baby sack, because the man was one of the biggest influences of probably every martial artist that I know. And I know a lot of martial artists. So you're probably talking to a 1% bunch of fucking dumbasses.
And I know that I know a lot of grandmasters and stuff have nothing but bad things to say about Bruce Lee, but a lot of the guys,
because they wouldn't. You know what? That's because they knew that they would probably never be on that man's level. I mean, that guy was a total other machine. I mean, if you ever studied his life like that, and many others. I mean, my God, he was one of the first reasons why I wanted to do martial arts. Man, I grew up watching Chinese fucking theater every damn Saturday morning, man. I knew all about every fucking kung fu before I even started training. I mean, and Bruce Lee was, at the very top of the list. I mean, shit, they grandmasters. They're not real grandmasters, in my eyes, man.
Are you a fan of the Wu-Tang movie, sir?
The what?
The Wu-Tang movies, the over-the-top, I think it's Southeast Asian culture, I'm a big fan of that. I know a lot of people enjoy that, but they don't enjoy the over-the-topness. I think that had enough or as much to do with culture, sir.
But that's what these dumbasses can't separate, fucking entertainment. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yes, sir.
Jesus Christ. I mean, get over the shit. I mean, yes, it's a martial arts, film and stuff, but what do you think? Jackie Chan goes out there, if he was to really get into a fight, he's going to fight exactly like that? I don't think so. I mean, it's just added stuff to an entertaining movie. Shit. Smarten the fuck up.
What was the one moment that you kind of looked around at yourself and you said, I'm a wrestler. I've made it?
Well, probably when I went to ECW, of course. I was in and out of Japan and out of Mexico and, just being more of a journeyman wrestler trying to perfect my craft, This is an art. This is not, what people think. I mean, this is more of an art. We're the best actors in the world because we're one-take warriors, man. I mean, we don't have second chances and stuff. We have to get our shit right then and there. In the match, on interviews, all that stuff. I mean, it's a complete art. You got to go out there, and even though I'm stiff and I'm pretty rough to wrestle, I mean, I'm not killing anybody. So you still have to make your shit look as real. If you care about your art, then it's you're gonna have to make it look as real as humanly possible, and that's what I did. This is a complete and utter art. People should take pride in it.
What do you think is the biggest thing wrong with wrestling? Do you think that people forget that it's an art form? Do you think that it's people, as you said, aren't trying to progress or be perfectionists as like your generation was, sir?
My generation worked. And I say this because it's the truth. There's me and a few other people, and I got to admit, Tasha's one of those people. There's some of my friends that are that are still in the business that are these people. We're the dying breed of the real wrestlers. Okay, when we're gone, that's going to be it, because everybody today is hand fed. They're taken care of. I mean, we're the last ones to ever get in the car with a fucking cooler in the back with bologna and cheese and making sandwiches in the back seat while one person navigates and the other person drives and the other person just gets on your fucking nerves. And we all slept in the car. We all slept in rest areas. We weren't making much driving fucking 10, 15, 20 damn hours to one show, and then 9 times out of 10 getting ripped off by a fucking promoter, and then have to do it all over again the following week. You're never fucking at home and making a little bit of money, So, yeah, I mean, kids of today are not like that. Don't know what it's like to really, they're given their spot. When I got in the business, if I got any chance whatsoever, I had to make the most of it right then and there, okay? And as soon as I did, of course there's going to be haters in the dressing room, but then, yeah, you got the job, but guess what? Back in my day, you had to keep your job and you had to earn it to the dressing room. So the guys that have been there for a few more years than you, every time you wrestle those guys, they're going to beat the living shit out of you, because they didn't want you to get comfortable, and they didn't want you to get a big hit thinking that you didn't really fucking made it, Just because you get a job doesn't mean you made it. That job can last a week. Those contracts that you get, they're not backing you. They're backing the company. They're not in favor of you. Okay? That company in that contract states that at any given time, at any given moment, whenever they're unhappy with your performance, you're gone. But it's not like that for you. If at any given time, if you're unhappy with their fucking performance, you can't just leave if you want to. But these kids today, they're just, there's no real... I think back in our day we had territories to go to. There was a lot more indies to work, And back then people actually paid. I mean, today people don't pay. They're just cheap-ass little indie promoters who think they're fucking Vince McMahon. Think they got the goddamn fucking WWE under their fucking belt in fucking Dothan, Alabama. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Jonesboro, Arkansas, that's where the next fucking WrestleMania is. Come to the Jonesboro fucking, National Guard Army. You just never heard of any of these fucking kids and stuff like that, because these kids are getting trained by people who've never made it themselves. How are you going to become a star if you're being trained by a guy who couldn't get out of the indies himself?
You bring up a great point. Do you think it's because of territories? Because nowadays you have a lot of what we call weekend warriors. Nobody really makes a living off wrestling anymore. Do you think that if guys did that they would learn about paying dues? And do you think that would help the business, sir?
Oh yeah, man. Let me tell you something. From the day I got in the business, I made a living out of it. Seriously. I mean, my first match, I got paid $50, but you know what? I sold about $200 worth of pictures, because I was a fucker back then. I had long hair, and I looked like a rock star, But I knew I had Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson and those guys to show me how to not only wrestle, but to hustle, to just throw my gimmick out there and to know what my gimmick was. The kids of today don't even know what the fuck their gimmick is. They got a name, they got an outfit, but who is your gimmick? Can you describe it within 2 sentences? No, they can't. So
what about I'm sorry, I was going to say, what about the gimmick table? I have a problem with that. Babyface is not selling gimmicks. Do you see that a lot? Do you see babyfaces out there that just have no connections with the fans and don't come with anything to sell? Do you see a problem with that, sir?
Yeah, you're a dumbass. Then it's to make that as a wrestler. But you have an opportunity to make more money with the merchandise. Just like WWE, just like WCW, just like ECW, just like TNA. That where your money, well, not TNA. But in those companies, yeah, you have a certain amount of money you make a year. The real money is in the merchandise. Getting our weekly paychecks after being on the road every quarter, that's about every 4 months, we were getting merchandise checks too. We'd go out to our damn mailbox and get a merch check, and it was, one check would be half of what your yearly salary was, and you get about 5 or 6 of those in a year from different merchandise, the video games, the action figures, the 8x10s, the DVD, all of that stuff adds up, man. And, I mean, hell, I know in WWE and ECW, I made more in merchandise than I did on my actual contract.
Now, what does Kash have? What are you doing today, sir? I know you and Gary Wolf are kicking ass and taking names, sir, but what are you doing, sir?
What am I doing?
I mean, I understand you're kicking ass and taking names. You're touring all over the country, sir, but you and Gary Wolf are making some water, sir.
Yeah, Gary, actually, we did a few shows together up in Canada not too long ago, and there's always been not heat between him and I personally, but of course he's the original, Pitbull from the ECW. Him and Anthony were, the original Pitbulls. Gary owns the name, he always has, and then some sort of miscommunication. WWE wound up, with a lot of the ECW names and a lot of the ECW characters. When I was in the WWE, after losing the Cruiserweight title, which nobody ever beat me because we did a gauntlet match, just saying. They put Jamie and I together, and because of the fact that we were just so rough and mean and we just beat everybody's asses, they just came up with the name the Pitbulls. And so then there was a little legal problem with the name there, and then that just caused, WWE to just scrap the whole thing. So we just started talking one night, and we decided that why don't we get the band back together, He's Pitbull 1, and, Anthony, the original Pitbull, God rest his soul, he's dead now. And, who better to fill his shoes than me? And we have the same character, we have the same, mentality. We're both rough, we're both tough, we're both basically grew up on the streets and stuff like that, so we have that kind of mentality too. We know how to take care of ourselves, but what it all boils down to is we're both tag team specialists. I came in with the Rock and Roll Express. I've been a World Tag Team Champions with Lance Hoyt. Been Tag Team Champions with Ricky Morton. The NWA Tag Team Champions. Okay, the real NWA, not this fucking fake shit. All right, this watered down fucking independent. I got fucking $50 in the fucking name of NWA, which don't mean a jack shit anymore because Crockett, when he sold it, that was the end of the NWA. Okay, that was it. NWA don't mean jack shit no more. Just throwing that out there. Okay. I've been tag teams around, tag team champions around the world. So is Gary. You think about it, tag teams of today. Why did they even put two people together? Because if I'm watching a TV show like TNA, especially, and even the WWE, I watch a tag team match. There is no tag teaming going on. It's 4 guys having 2 singles matches. That's basically what it is.
Yep.
And I think it's time that, real tag teams should come back. So Gary and I have decided that, just like I was in TNA and a lot of other places, for the light heavyweight division, I was the measuring stick. I mean, you watch the last, couple of years I was in TNA, that's what I was there for. Get the fucking kids over and show them how to be a star and beat their fucking ass and let them know that they better appreciate it. But I set the tone. I gave them, direction on, on how to be a true light heavyweight and a champion and all that stuff, a real TV star, And there's nothing like that going on in the tag team division in a very long time. So I think with Gary and I together, we can definitely set the pace and be the measure stick for all the tag teams out there now. We come out there, you're going to see a real tag team. And, We're not coming to just, wrestle you and twist your arm. We're going to come out there and we're going to make you earn every step of the way that you're in that match with us. Simple as that. It's the way it should be.
Any advice you can give to men and women just getting into the business or wanting to get in the business, sir?
Quit.
Hey, plain and simple, straight to the point. How can everyone get in touch with you, Mr. Kash, and what dates do you have upcoming, sir?
Well, I have my Facebook, David Kid Kash. We're working on a website right now for me and the Pit Bulls tag team, which now we're calling, it's not the Pit Bulls, it's Pit Bulls 13, because he's Pit Bull 1, I'm Pit Bull 3, just pulling it together. But we're going to have that on the website and everything coming up. I got a big tour coming up in the UK, starting May the 2nd till the 28th. I'm going to be hitting many cities there, wrestling and doing personal appearances, seminars, and believe it or not, drug awareness speeches.
I always youth outreach. But Mr. Kash, we appreciate you coming on, sir. The door is always open. We look forward to seeing you all over the United States and even in Europe. We have European fans listening, so Mr. Kash, we appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take our next break of the evening. When we come back, we're going to do little things, and we'll get ready for Naja to come on to talk Progression Pro Wrestling right here, the To Be Determined Show, Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
Boobs.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the To Be Determined Show on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Thank you to Kash for coming on. Hell of an interview. He seems like a pretty calm individual. Pretty laid-back type of guy, I think him and Rob Van Dam have a lot in common. But thank you. He very honest, very open. Great advice for the kids out there just getting in the business. Quit. And there you go. But we've got Naja coming up to talk Progression Pro Wrestling. So we're going to take this opportunity in about 10 minutes to talk about Raw. What I want to say about Raw. I think they made all their champions look extremely weak. Kofi Kingston winning the title, I'm cool with that. I don't see that was a squash anything. It wasn't even doing a job.
Dude,
it looked
that
awesome.
was a fantastic fucking match. Fantastic fucking match for me.
It was, and I love Kofi. Kofi hitting, and that's something you don't see too often. Him hitting the Thunder in Paradise out of nowhere, lifting Claudio up, and then bam, and Claudio, damn it, Antonio.
He hit him with a DVD collection of Hulk Hogan's old TV show. What?
I guess Thunder in Paradise.
Trouble in Paradise did.
What is Thunder in Paradise?
Thunder
That's what
in
I call
Paradise.
It. I don't care. You can fucking bring Brutus the Barber Beefcake out there for all I care.
Oh, don't do that, please. Don't give them ideas. They're already bringing back Honky Tonk.
Called Turds in Paradise.
Hey, I like Honky Tonk. Honky Tonk does a great interview. Great shoots, by the way. But speaking of great shoots, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. Dan, we appreciate you coming on. Dan, you always think that, most promoters come on here and they're very, well, yes, sir. Hell no, Dan comes in like dropping the bombs on everybody.
I think that's because he knows us as well as he does, because we both work with Global Championship Wrestling. Of course, you manage the Unlucky Charms, and I'm casting the role of commissioner and primary ring announcer. So there is a certain amount of comfort factor there, and there's also Tasha Simone has been on the show before, And he's had the opportunity to get to know, I guess, Matt Denton through us. So there is, and same thing kind of like with Smart Rage. But from that vantage point, there's a comfort zone, and you get promoters who don't know. It's just like, you've done interviews with different promoters with whom you've worked, and we've done, over on Beyond Ringside Live, we've done interviews with promoters with whom we've all worked. And so from that vantage point, it's kind of like there's a comfort zone. If somebody's coming in for the first time, they're protecting their business. They're protecting their company. And as they get to know us and realize the fact that, hey, look, we can run with anything you throw at us, stupid or otherwise.
Sorry. Well, but most promoters, Eddie knows, most promoters come on, they tiptoe around, they pussyfoot around, they try not to step on any toes. Mad Dog just don't give a shit. He just throws it out there. And kudos to him for bringing in Rick Steiner. And, and most promoters be like, oh, well, I'm wrestling Rick Steiner for the title. No, he brought Rick Steiner on against Johnny Swinger, and I like that. I mean, that brings people that usually wouldn't come to the events. That's how you book. That's a great booking. We talk about this all the time because when I booked for ACW, as we've discussed before, they wanted me to bring in all these names. I'm like, no, we have great talent. We have let's do that. You bring in guys to help out your guys. You don't bring in guys to put your guys down. That's just stupid, horrible stuff.
Yep.
And I usually don't bitch about the booking on WWE. But when you have all your champions lose, and the thing with Ryback really wasn't heel. It was the whole. I'm not going to compare him to Batman, but
no,
the whole thing of I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you either. That mentality.
They took Ryback from superhero to borderline bitch in one night.
Well, it's the whole thing of teetering with him being a heel or not. So what is he going to do? I mean, we saw when you had two heels, Swagger and Ziggler, the fans got behind Ziggler. When you have a babyface and babyface match, somebody's going to heel up. I mean, that's all there's to it. Somebody has to. And when you have a heel on heel, which very rarely happens, but does happen, somebody's going to have to babyface it. Plain and simple. Eddie?
Yeah, but by the same token, why jump in that deep? And look, there are certain situations in play. And there are different types of heels that can be portrayed on television and at live events. And remember, folks, it's only an event if you book the Wicked Nemesis. The fact of the matter stands. It came across as nothing more than a what about me sketch. It came across nothing more than a glorified Raven, bald-headed and tie-dyed. Or airbrush singlet. The fact for me stands very clearly. If Ryback would have said point blank, I got screwed by Brad Maddox and CM Punk, or Brad Maddox. I got screwed by CM Punk. I got screwed by Paul Heyman. I got screwed by The Shield. John Cena, I just want to make sure that it's going to be me and you and let the best man win. And the crowd would have gone for it, plain and simple. But whine, bitch, moan, complain, wah, what about me? I was there for you. Where were you when I needed somebody? Get a divorce. Come on, damn it.
Makes sense. What was that? Another person to pay alimony to, Jesus.
And what is this about Ryback tweeting something about his two things he didn't have that John Cena's ex-wife liked? Yeah. Oh.
Left testicle, right testicle?
He's such a... Anyways.
They're talking about penis in the brain.
There
referring
you go.
to the John Cena promo that he cut on him at the end of the show.
Well, we all know what's really going to happen. It's going to be one of those ordeals where Ryback, they've got to make new talent. They've got to make new talent. Can't keep bringing Taker back. Can't keep having these. CM Punk obviously is going to take some very well needed time off. And I thought that was a great promo by him. You have to build it, and I think that the WrestleManias after this are going to be just that. We always talk about ECW. What was ECW known for besides the violent? Besides the ultra-violent, anyways, I guess I should say. Pushing their own talent. Pushing talent that nobody really knew.
Thank you.
And then they use people like Mick Foley as they should. That is Paul Heyman is one of the greatest bookers of all time, in my opinion, because of how he used talent. Stephen Platinum was one of those guys that knew how to find talent and knew how to use it. And they have those cult-like followings. For whatever reason, they get the best out of people, and they know how to push their talent that they made. So that's another thing, and WWE's trying, but they've got to do this more. You've got the Shield. The Shield looks awesome, even though they cut away backstage to them, which I dare to say somebody got fired for that.
I'm not sure, dude. I think they would have done that because they knew that people would be tuning out for the same old boring Ryback John Cena promo.
Oh, so you think they put that back there just to, hold on, don't loosen up. I don't think it was because Roman Reigns, how he turned around, it was like, oh my God. But,
I guess it was more like something that was made to look like an accident, but wasn't really. Because, how many times do you really see a camera back there?
I'm not sure. Probably not that often.
Exactly. So it's more of a... If not a complete accident, that it may be just a Bob Ross happy coincidence.
Happy little trick. Happy little trick. That was a great reference. But ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take our next break of the evening. When we come back, we're scheduled to be joined by Progression Pro Wrestling's Naja. Right here, the To Be Determined Show.
Get ready for an explosion on stage. Keith Urban, Light the Fuse Tour 2013. It's gonna be a long hot summer. We should be together with your feet up on the dashboard now. Keith Urban, August 22nd, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Keith Urban with Little Big Town. August 22nd, Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Special guest, Dustin Lynch. Reserve seats are on sale now at Ticketmaster. More at KeithUrban.net. Keith Urban, Light the Fuse Tour 2013, part of the Coca-Cola Star Series.
So I was hanging out with O'Hagan, and he breaks out cardboard, throws it down, punches guys in a face, right in this guy's face, and then breakdances on it. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the To Be Determined Show right here Beyond Ringside Radio Network. I'm the Orc of Omnis, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis. Joining me is Matt Denton, Mad Dog, Fast Eddie Lane.
Howdy.
And we have back on the line Mr. O'Hagan, former GCW heavyweight champion. Now, this Oak Mountain State Fair show that is coming up on the 26th, Eddie, you will be DJing or MCing there, correct?
I am going to be with the Alabama State Fair starting on Friday, April the 19th, going all the way through Sunday the 28th, with the exception of maybe Monday or Tuesday. So I will actually be doing MC work, playing DJ, and hosting State Fair karaoke for that entire run. We're trying to figure out exactly the logistics of the situation to where I might be able to pop over and make an appearance with Global, but for right now, everything is still very much up in the air.
He'll be really busy running the Monkeys Riding Dogs.
They haven't had that for the last 3 events, and it's like, damn it, they need to bring that back. They need to bring that back, because the one year they had it there, I missed it.
Oh, my God. Now, O'Hagan, do you know what you're doing at this the show on the 26th, Oak Mountain Amphitheater?
I've got that lineup.
Oh, you got that lineup? We'll break that out, sir.
I'm wrestling.
Well, Fast Eddie Lane, our commissioner, says that he has that lineup. I'm wrestling. Eddie, what's the lineup for that? What is O'Hagan?
And actually, I'm going to say I'm going to say this. This is a match that a lot of people are talking about in and around the southeastern United States because of the reputation both of these two guys have built up, not only as professional wrestlers, but also as dancers and in the music community as well. So, hey,
Chris Brown?
Yes, you're going to have an MMA fight with Chris Brown, Rihanna, special guest judge.
All right.
Unless
seriously, I thought he was wrestling Trevor Doom Eon.
No,
he's wrestling Trevor.
I've never known Trevor to be a dancer. I have known, however, I do know his opponent is actually becoming a very skilled rapper and hip hop artist. So O'Hagan's going to be going on one-on-one Team GCW versus Team Underground, taking on Spiral, the man from Bosnia by way of St. Louis.
Yo, dog. Yo.
Yeah.
I'm wrestling O'Hagan, yo, dog. Oh, yeah. I'm wrestling Spiral. That's what I'm saying. I plan on breaking his arm. That's basically what I plan on doing.
I have a very good impression of Blur as well. He reminds me.
Impression of Spiral?
Spiral is a missing member of Death Clock.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He does. He's your skies. I'm going to go out there and kick him in the face, man. It's so cool, man. That's. He is hilarious. I like Spiral. I respect Spiral. And you two, I can't wait. I'm going to be right there, and I'm probably going to steal some kid's popcorn, and I'm going to watch you. I'm going to watch you.
Eat that popcorn in your mouth.
My mouth.
Yeah, they better have the giant turkey legs there that night. I'm going to be pissed if they don't.
That's a turkey leg.
Matt, do they have these type of events where they have like a fair type or carnival type atmosphere?
They got a giant Ferris wheel over there.
Oh hell yeah!
Do you ever get to attend any of them?
No, not really, because it's mostly run by carnival promoters, and it's just like fun fair rides. It's like little theme parks.
Do they have wrestling events there?
Oh God, no.
Connie.
They just mainly overcharge you for like fucking carnival games and shit like that.
Oh yeah, we got that here too. Yes, I've never
no
been
wrestling,
to
not anymore.
Fair, so. No more. That sucks, man. And that's like where William Regal started. Fit Finlay started. No more.
No, that kind of wrestling is more holiday camp in the UK now, rather than fairs.
Oh really?
Yes.
That do tell. For those that
you can actually hear more about it from Johnny Storm on one of Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcasts that he did a couple weeks back.
Well, I want to know something really quick, Matt. The Fandango craze, is it over there with you as well? Is it over there?
It's us who perpetrated it in the first place, considering that.
Oh my God!
Yes, we perpetrated this atrocity.
Yep.
Most of the people who were singing along in New Jersey were from Europe, particularly the UK. So expect huge fucking chants for him on Raw, SmackDown for the next 2 weeks or so, because they're doing 4 TV tapings over here.
Because Wick, I don't know if you caught it or not, the Fandango theme by Jim Johnston, Cha Cha La La, has actually gone into the top 15 and almost cracked the top 10 on the I believe it is the UK UK singles chart as well as in the UK on iTunes.
Nope, not true. Hit number 11 in the UK iTunes chart. It hit number 44 in the UK top 40 singles.
Okay.
Well, that's still pretty good for a wrestling.
It was like, I think it was like 259 more buys would have been needed to actually crack the top 40.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was close to the top 40. I thought that I thought that it finally did it. That they got the 259.
Oh, they got higher in the soundtrack category. They actually got higher, but the overall they didn't crack the top 40.
Damn.
But for soundtracks, they actually did break the top 10.
They actually did manage to crack the top 40. I think it got to number 2 for Ding Dong, The Witch is Dead for Maggie Thatcher. I shit you not.
That is great.
That's not a Southern.
So is Fandango going to be the new David Hasselhoff over in Europe?
Oh my God! Like Hasselhoff is in Germany.
Yes.
If I see a video of Fandango drunk, eating a hamburger, yelling at his daughter, I'm out.
Taking a whiz on a police officer's leg or something like that, wasn't it?
Eating a hamburger off the floor.
That's it.
He's like, "Dad, you're drunk." No, I'm not. He's like taking his.
And
he's like taking his French fries.
Let the air breathe.
I'm David.
Let's not hassle the Hoff, all right, guys?
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm the Hoff, bitch.
This is a man who was in the SpongeBob movie, so we have to give him some respect.
No, you don't. No, the
Look,
hell you don't.
What are we doing? What is the Unlucky Charmers doing at the Oak Mountain State
at
Fair
the
show?
Oak Mountain State Fair on Friday night, April the 26th, I have a match slated. It will pit the current GCW Tag Team Champions against the combination of Jeremy Foster and Cody O'Connor, high definition, and hopefully everybody will stay healthy.
Really?
With or without eating a cheeseburger off the floor.
That is Cody coming back against us makes about as much sense as Jeff Goldblum hanging out with Trigg on Conan O'Brien right now.
I think the word for a lot of people that has been bandied, this is going to be the word of the year for 2013, redemption. Everybody's on a personal quest for redemption. I'm not. I'm just trying to find good weed. I mean, shit, come on.
Redemption, he needs to blame his partner. Jeremy, don't lean back to the middle of the ring when you grab the top rope.
There you go.
But we all laugh at it. Because Cody's okay.
Yeah, he's okay. I mean, but I give him all the credit in the world. Like, he was in an ambulance. Like, he was taken to the emergency room. And for him to come back and want more, whether it's the smartest thing for him or not, the fact that he's doing that shows me a lot. Because, I mean, I know I put my body on the line, and so does everyone who gets in that ring. And there's guys that, will get hurt and keep going, and there's guys that are like, I broke the toenail or something. So for him to come back up in here and go against two guys like the Unlucky Charms, I mean, that tells me a lot about him. Well, either he's really brave or he's really stupid. But I'm going to go with brave on this one because, I mean, it takes a lot of guts to get in the damn ring. So
I'm not. I'm going to go stupid on this one. Just for the simple fact that they're expecting 7,000 or 8,000 people. I don't know the setup to this. I will be up there Friday to help set it up, of course. But
there you go.
I don't know the setup. If this is going to be in, like, where's the fair taking place at?
Actually, the last few times we were at the fair, we were on the backside over by the stunt show.
Correct.
And they have given us a bigger area to work with this year up by the charter stage.
Correct.
So
you're welcome.
Actually got thank you very much. But it should be. I mean, we're inside the fairgrounds. We're actually going to be like right near the front gates. So when people come in, they're like, "Bam! Look at that awesome bald guy in tights." And then we're like, "Look at me! Man, that's awesome. We should stay around."
Man, the first kid that touches me, I'm gonna punch your dad in the face. I'm just saying, can't stand to be touched. This is going to be one of those events, everybody. Man, I wasn't booked on it, so it's shit. You mark my words. I'm telling you.
Oh, of course.
I'm telling you right now.
Because there's supposedly a show taking place at a nightclub in Birmingham the same night that we're at the State Fair. And look, I wish both shows the absolute best. Of course, my heart's with Global Championship Wrestling, plain and simple. But there are fans of the hardcore ultra-violent style, and there are fans of Global Championship Wrestling because of the fact that we bring so many diverse styles to the ring. I mean, you've got some genuine high flyers, you've got some great technical wrestlers, and you've got some damn good out-and-out brawlers under the banner of Global Championship Wrestling.
Chris Knox.
There you go.
Hey,
don't forget. Whoa, wait.
We're gonna have.
Wait.
We have something at the fair that's not going to be going on anywhere else in town that night.
Oh,
it's going to be trained professional wrestlers who know how to wrestle. It's going to be awesome.
I thought you were going to put yourself over for another second there, O'Hagan. It's like we're going to have O'Hagan there.
No, I mean, like I've said this on other shows, and I'll say it now again. Cher Martel, may she rest in peace. She one time was talking to her, and someone said something about hardcore wrestling, and she goes, hardcore wrestling is something that guys who can't wrestle well anymore do to get by, or guys who never learned how to wrestle well do just so they can play wrestler.
See, that's where I have.
And I disagree with that.
I disagree with that too, because I know a lot of guys who do the ultraviolet stuff, and they are very accomplished, scientific, and technical as well.
No, there are exceptions to every rule. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I've had a very technical match with one Insane Lane.
Yes,
me and him had some amazing matches, and he's a guy who will go out there and do the hardcore, but who also is diversified enough that he can get in there and he'll chain wrestle with you for an hour, and you can have a good match. Someone else that I.
Freak show.
I actually was on a show with him last weekend.
What?
Enjoy wrestling him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was he?
He's dropped like 40 pounds, and he's still losing weight. He's in probably the best shape I've ever seen him.
He is. Because I worked with him at IWA Deep South Cage of Carnage when the four-way Cage of Carnage match between him, Spider Boudreaux, God, I don't have my notes in front of me. But holy crap, they're right across from me on the floor, and I can't reach them. But yeah, all four guys in that match look really good, and I'm trying to remember the other two gentlemen because I'm going to get killed and stretchered, not necessarily in that order for forgetting. Sorry, Kev. But seriously, and there were some great, and it's like another guy that O'Hagan you're familiar with, the Man Scout Jake Manning. Now, he didn't do an ultraviolet match that night, but he and the city councilman from Sylacauga were in a match. And and they had a great match.
Right there. No. You can't have the Sylacauga city councilman in a fucking match and have great match after that. Just stop. I'm not going to allow that on my fucking show. You say that shit for Beyond Ringside. It's a fucking markish thing to do. Anybody that puts some fucking guy that should be buying tickets in you're fucking retarded. Get the fuck out. You're fucking pieces of shit. And we don't fucking need you in this fucking business. I don't give a fuck if this hurts anybody's feelings. You can suck my dick. Get 8.5-inch cock. You want to get at the top and work your way to the bottom. That's quite all right. I'll call you my scrotum pop star. There you go. Because let me tell you something. You can't say Sylacauga City Councilman in great match. O'Hagan.
Well, I do agree. You can't say great match. You could say, they
entertaining.
They were funny.
It was an entertaining match. I'll go that far.
Okay.
But I think what you guys were missing my point is, there's guys who've been trained who are the absolute shits.
Yes.
Who I'd be like, I don't want to be anywhere around those guys. But then there's guys who do death matches that can do actual wrestling. I'm just saying is, I've seen some of the things that have been going on recently in death matches, and it's not these guys who have built a reputation of being able to wrestle and do death matches. It's guys that don't know how to do anything, that just go out there and smash each other with stuff just to make it as grotesque and brutal as possible. And it kills a lot of everything we've worked for people to respect us as athletes. Because, you can hit me in the head all day long. I've got a caveman head, but that doesn't mean that I know how to work in the ring, you know?
One of the reasons why we have Matt on this show. Matt, your thoughts on this? You're a hardworking, paying fan, sir. What are your thoughts on the ultraviolet style? Is there somebody that you see out there that you know can do the ultraviolet style, or has done the ultraviolet style, or done a violet type style, but yet still is entertaining and still can work?
Dean Ambrose. John Moxley.
Yep.
That's all you need to say.
Yeah, because Moxley did a lot with Combat Zone Wrestling and IWA Mid-South, but primarily Combat Zone Wrestling, DJ Hyde's company. And, he's done, that's another thing. If you haven't seen a show like Combat Zone Wrestling, they operate primarily out of the northeastern United States. They've also, and Matt, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this company, it's Westside Extreme Wrestling. They're over in Germany. This is another company that does the same thing. They do everything from the Rudo Technico to the Brawlers to the Ultraviolent. I've seen some of their material, but see, here's the thing, and you can agree or disagree with me if you want to. The bigger the scope that you try to portray under the banner of your company's name, the more scrutinous you have to be before you bring somebody and put them into your ring. If you want to run a show that looks like a frickin' outlaw circus, guess what? It's going to look like a frickin' outlaw circus, and most people are going to sit back and say, well, I just spent 2.5 hours of my life that I'll never get back. But if you have a damn clue about booking and you take the time to watch, and these guys, once again, a lot of them do have their matches up on YouTube, Dailymotion, and some of the reputable video sharing sites, they have an opportunity to be seen before they're brought in and put into a company's ring. You think DJ Hyde's going to bring somebody in, or you think WXW is going to bring somebody in without having a chance to look at them first? Hell no. And it's the promoters that are worth a tinker's damn. Now, I think Kevin Brannon did a good job on Cage of Carnage. He does a great job on Carnage Cup.
I am waiting on that DVD because I heard that they had a triple threat match that was the pinnacle of technical wrestling.
If you're talking about the $5 title, I'm going to barf now.
You mean, no, Freight Train versus Big James.
Yeah, that's the $5 wrestling. That was the $5 wrestling belt.
I mean, I would put that against any Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, and Chris Jericho triple threat match ever.
You'd get laughed off the continent.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, and I've had this conversation with several people, and I know, and to me it makes it even more sickening. Freight Train's a work. I'm gonna tell you right fucking now, that motherfucker's a work. He is not a fucking retard. He's pulling a Nick Dinsmore, except Nick Dinsmore actually makes it look reputable.
Yeah, it does.
And everybody is eating that shit up. He is a fucking large African American
beast.
Working everybody. He's just he wants to be Abdul the Butcher, but yet doesn't want to do the training. It's just a big guy that's like, hey, I've got something I can do. I can go in there and I can do this.
And you know, okay.
This is I'm sorry, Freight Train, you're looking the wrong way. Can you turn sideways?
Yeah,
and to look past the camera. I mean, it is what it is. I know Eddie did an interview with him, and I'm not happy with that.
Mabo did the interview.
Yeah, but Mabo, that was not Mabo's idea. That was your idea. And I understand he's famous. He's like a celebrity, like a Kardashian.
Now I'm going to throw up. You just said that word on this network.
Now you're going to have a Freight Train porn out there. Where he's just looking past the camera. I think I just did something miss. He wants to be John Coffey.
Yeah, I know.
Green Mile.
I know.
That's what it is.
But here's the difference, though. Eugene, Nick Dinsmore, even when he was Eugene, would wrestle.
But he was a wrestling savant.
Yeah. The Freight Train is just look, you can't go full retard.
Yes, he did. He just said that, kids.
I'm just saying. I mean, Rain Man, good at math. You know, I mean, I'm just saying. Forrest Gump was good at ping pong and football. I mean, but once you go full retard, I mean, you've gone too far.
And the fun part about it is, I think he actually worked part of the match in his glasses. I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh my God! Please forgive me for what I just said. I actually said he worked. He wrestled part of the match in his glasses. Please, God, forgive me for using the word work and Freight Train in the same sentence as far as a physical activity goes. No, and here's the thing, dude, and this, I want to go around, I'm going to hijack for a second and go around the table. Has the culture around professional wrestling become so diluted, and are fans so starved for something away from WWE and TNA that they will make something like $5 Wrestling and Freight Train and Big James and Chaos into more than it really is, because they are that freaking pissed at the crap that we're being fed on Monday, Thursday, and Friday nights? Matt Denton, you first.
Well, of course they are. They want to see something different. They want to see something fun. Make wrestling fun again. Watching WWE, for me, I only watch Raw, and most weeks it's a fucking chore. I barely watch TNA often. I think the last time I watched TNA was like a couple weeks back. I'm finding myself going back and looking at other shit, whether it be from Japan, whether it be Shikara, whether it be
Shikara rocks.
Yes, Shikara rocks. Whether it be I think it's Progress Wrestling here in the UK. Whether it be WWF from fucking 10 years ago. I want to see something different. I want to see something that's entertaining. I want to see something fun. And right now, WWE, TNA do not provide that, full stop.
Mr. O'Hagan.
Yeah, this might sound weird, but like with internets and rumor sites and dirt sheets and stuff like that, so many people kind of get like inside looks to certain things, and they feel like they're behind the scenes and part of it, and that kind of makes them feel like if the people who can't wrestle or they just don't want to, as a casual fan, it makes them feel like they're almost part of the show because they get a little bit of insider information. And when you look at something like $5 wrestling, that is obviously they're poking fun at it the same way you get Mystery Science Theater, and they feel like by watching that they are part of that joke because they're laughing with Cabana, and they're laughing with it. So I think they feel like it's almost like they're in on it because they're laughing with the guys making fun of these people. So I think it's almost like that, hey, we're part of this, and that's why it's entertaining to them, because it makes them feel like they are part of the joke.
You mean, you said Cabana, you mean the Zack Ryder comic book issue 0? Wicked Nemesis, on to you, dude.
There's been a culture going on, we all know. American culture has been slowly dumbing down the masses. We all know this. There's no conspiracy there. But you have to stop somewhere. There has to be that dividing point. There has to be that line in the sand where you decide, I'm not going to be the guy that shows up in shorts. I'm going to wear a tuxedo everywhere I go. When you're that guy, you're the guy that everyone looks at weird, but you're making that line in the sand. You have to stop it at wrestling. The most purest art form in the world. Professional wrestling is an art form, is the sport of gods, plain and simple. That is fact. The sport of gods. You have to keep it at that. That's what we're talking about with Kash, about police in the locker room. I like how Kash was asking if I was one of the guys he thrown out of the locker room. No. But, as you all know, I think that some people should be thrown out of the locker room.
Hell yes.
But what you see on TV is what is considered the norm. Whether it is or not, it's all in perception. The victors write the history. Okay? Vince won the war. And all that's before him is just a wasteland.
Yeah.
And whatever wasteland he wants to do with that, he's going to. And as wrestling fans, you can either go across the wasteland or you can sit back and throw rocks at it. But you have to do it yourself. You have to be that person. We have to take it upon ourselves. You know that O'Hagan does. You all know that myself and the Unlucky Charms, Kyle Bomb Pandora, Kyle Matthews, Corey Hollis, Jake Cole, Spiral, Murder One, Johnny Slaughter, the Concrete Gorillas. There are people out there that decide what they're going to do, and they don't care what the norm is. And that is where respect is gained. But you have to draw the line.
Sometimes you just got to nature boy somebody.
Or just be that somebody that does it to the nature boy.
Oh boy, and I said it, and man, I wish you guys would have been at UIW because everybody stopped me. I heard you beat up Paulie. So yeah. Like, dude, he had it coming. I'm like, well, why didn't you do it? I told Dan I wasn't going to. I promised Dan Sawyer I wasn't going to, and I still did it.
Because the guy tried to get a fucking sucker punch on you.
Well, I had
you're
my arms crossed like a dumbass.
You're going to defend yourself.
Hey, real quick, can I? We got a gentleman from across the sea online with us, right?
Yes,
sir.
Okay, we were talking about like death matches and hardcore. There's one hardcore like balls out wrestler right now that I would love to just meet, and I believe she's from across the pond. From I think she's from Scotland, and she wrestles in for several companies in England and stuff. Her name is Kaylee Ray. You ever heard of this young lady?
No. Don't believe I have.
She wrestles for ICW and British Championship Wrestling. If you guys get a chance, but yeah, she does a lot of stuff with ICW. Fire engine red hair, and I watched a video of this young lady get power bombed over the first 4 rows into a wall. Like, they didn't catch her. There was like a barricade wall, like an actual wall, and they power bombed her into the wall 4 rows over out of the ring. And I was like, and this person's alive?
She does realize it's a work, right?
Yeah, apparently, but
you don't nearly have, dude. We need to book her, Dan. Dan, I know you're listening. Dan's
yeah, and I think she's smoking hot. Just saying.
Well, sex sells, as Matt sex sells.
Yep. But, also, now let me get my 2 cents on this one, if I could. My side of the coin, version 6.3.
Well,
what?
Yes, I do believe we have gotten to that point. And Wicked, you're absolutely right. Please, Wicked, you say this so eloquently. Why is the wrestling ring elevated?
Because we should be treated like gods.
And I agree wholeheartedly. Now, you said it's a wasteland. On the national scale, to a great degree, it is a wasteland. But you've got companies like Ring of Honor that are putting together better products every week. Now, granted, yes, Scum is NWO version, 16.7 or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's a faction.
4 Horsemen. I mean, that's what they all really are. 4 Horsemen redone.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, because, you got to sit back and say there's more than 4 there. They haven't gone for a definite number. At least when they did the 4 Horsemen, they marked a number in the sand and stuck with it.
Yes, sir.
And for that, I give the ultimate kudos on that. You created the gimmick and you stuck with it, even when there were only 2 left. But I talked about a show earlier this evening that's coming up on the 27th over in Blue Ridge, Georgia, the fundraiser tribute for Joyce Grable. That is going to be an event, and that will be an event. I mean, I pick my words wisely. That is going to be a great show and an event for a great reason, because Joyce Grable is one of the most marketed and known and respected names in women's wrestling. Also, and you're going to kill me for bringing this up, but I did the interviews this past Sunday night on Beyond Ringside Live. Scott Summers, you were there for that, one half of the NWA World Tag Team Champions. He took every shot that was taken in that direction, and he even came back about some stuff that we weren't going to bring up. He brought it up when it came about to the NWA. We may have a disagreement factor in place with the front office of the National Wrestling Alliance, but there are shows going on where legitimate, trained, well-trained performers, wrestlers, stars are getting in that ring and busting their ass every night of the week that they get the chance to. We can't help the fact that the main hierarchy has been doing things that a lot of people are not happy with. But the show coming up this Saturday night in Houston, Texas, the Parade of Champions from NWA Houston, the tribute show to Paul Bosch. I've looked at that lineup. That is a good lineup that's got some great talent coming in for it. Look, a lot of people may still be about the fact that Rob Conway is now the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I got no issue with that. Rob Conway is a good wrestler, and he's a great personality. And him and Chris Masters going up at it, I think that they're going to put on a good match. Will it be a 5-star match? Don't know. Will it be a 4-star match? Damn well could be.
Better be.
I think the 2 matches that are going to steal the show out from under everybody right now involve the NWA World Tag Team Champions, Scott Summers and Ryan Genesis, as they take on the IWGP Tag Team Champions, Lance Hoyt Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr. Those are 4 solid, and I mean rock solid people in the ring. You may not like Lance Archer, Lance Hoyt, for the crap that he did on Twitter a year ago. A lot of people can't stand that. Well, guess what? Twitterverse, get the hell over yourself. It's a freaking social media site. I don't give a flying damn.
But is that directed at me?
No.
Motherfucker better not have it. I'll stab your fucking big ass.
Yeah. Only thing you'll stab is scattered, smothered, and covered at 11:30 a.m. at Waffle House. Now, and the other match that I think is really going to steal the show, it's going to be and you're going to laugh when I say this, but I'm going to back up my statement. It's going to be the North American heavyweight title match. It's going to be Byron Wilcott defending against former NWA champion Cahagas. They have great complementary styles for each other. I think that they will work well together in a match. They will be able to tell a great story, and the North American title being in the balance, I think it's going to be a solid match. And don't forget, Damian Wayne's on this show. How many people have ever said a negative word about Damian Wayne in ring, Wick?
None that I know of. They better not. Anybody that knows the guy's work, it's stellar.
Matt, have you heard anybody say anything negative about the experience, Damian Wayne?
No.
O'Hagan?
Nope.
And he's going to be going up against a great up-and-comer. This kid's got some great reviews, and I've watched a couple of his matches. Houston Carson. So, I mean, look at it. You've got some shows coming up in Alabama. Friday the 26th, Saturday the 27th. Friday with Global Championship Wrestling at the State Fair. Friday with GCW in Pell City, Alabama. You've got a great show going on the 27th over in Blue Ridge, Georgia. You got a great show this Saturday night over in Texas. I said it last week during my side of the coin. Don't settle for what you see on television. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Get the fuck out of the house and go see a real show. I'm sorry, Vince, but you don't pay me. And I'm going to tell the truth on this network. This is my network. If you don't like it, buy it. It's not for sale.
What the fuck? Buy it. It's not for sale. Are you fucking Harvey Dent? That's my side of the coin. I think Eddie has progressively turned into a Han Solo vest-wearing version of Two-Face.
No, I think he's turned into Ric Flair. Fire me, I'm already fired.
Kill me, I'm already dead.
I do want to say that WrestleForce.
I'm mad as hell. I'm not taking it anymore.
Hey, WrestleForce this Saturday in South Carolina. 4 ladies that I'm very familiar with. 3 ladies that are very familiar to fans of this show. Calm Like a Bomb Pandora will be tagging with Dementia Rose, formerly Aisha Sunshine, against GCW Women's Champion. That's right, Tracy Taylor and Nina Monet, as I call her, Sugar Walls Nina Monet. So, I mean, that's going to be a hell of a tag team match. We saw a version of this at one time with Calm Like a Bomb Pandora and Tracy Taylor against Nina Monet and Tasha Simone at GCW. And women's wrestling is everywhere. Good wrestling is everywhere. There's great tag teams out there.
Yep.
You just have to know where to look. And you're like, well, I shouldn't have to look. Well, you know what? Territories don't exist. Get your head out your ass and go look around, because it's out there, fans. I'm telling you right now. But I digress. We're going to take a minute. We're going to take a quick break.
Oh, okay.
For those of you, we're going to get energized because, you know, we flew through the last break. And when we come back, we're going to wrap this up really quick, like a condom in Brazil. So,
yay!
Like a penis in Brazil. This is the To Be Determined Show right here, Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
The Mad Dog's House of Pain, the only nationally licensed pro wrestling school in the state of Alabama. Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, trained by the Junkyard Dog, will be your trainer. You want to be a professional wrestling superstar? Learn from GCW's own Mad Dog's House of Pain. With over 22 years experience, learn from the Mad Dog's House of Pain. 205-567-6482. Start your career today. Call 205-567-6482.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know we know we went long tonight, but we appreciate everyone that has stayed with us through all of this, through the mayhem tonight. We're scheduled to be joined by Progression Pro Wrestling's Naja. It's okay, it happens. This is live radio, and even when it's not on, when it goes up on YouTube, it'll still be okay. It's quite all right. We make do with what it is. We appreciate Mr. O'Hagan for coming on. Now, we were discussing something off air. This Kylie Ray, is that her name?
Kaylee Ray.
Yes.
Kaylee Ray. This video that is up of her, Daryl B.
Thank you.
Put it up in the chat room. That is a sick bump. That is a sick bump. Power bombing somebody like that, is. Yeah, but one thing is being able to take a bump, another thing is actually being able to wrestle. So, because that's the only thing I've seen of her. But we're gonna.
I hope she listens to this. She should listen to the replay. She's hot.
We're gonna go ahead and take it home because it's kind of late for everyone, especially Matt Denton, because it's like 4:30 in the morning over there. But
5:20.
5:20 in the morning. Holy shit! So 5:20 in the morning.
See, it's 4:20 somewhere.
5:20. Jesus.
One time zone earlier.
God damn it, Eddie!
Pull the microphone back from your mouth.
Blah blah. Blah blah.
Oh.
But really quick, Matt Denton, is there anything this week that you saw in wrestling that really stuck out in your mind? Something that you actually thought was good in wrestling?
Yeah, the finish of the Kofi Kingston Antonio Cesaro match.
Yep.
Had to watch that a few times over. It was amazing. And that's why, also, just kind of stemming off from that, that's why I want Cassius Ohno to get the call up to the main roster and take that fucking elbow finish back from Wade Barrett. Because Cassius Ohno, when he does it, it's a million times better as well. It's like, especially when he does it, he grabs his opponent by the head, whips him into the ropes at short range, and then while the guy's hitting the ropes, he spins round and fucking cleans his clock with that fucking rolling elbow. Gotta have more
agree.
of that
I think that is a great elbow, but that's somebody who's used that as a finish for years compared to somebody that WWE is like, oh man, we saw Cassius Ohno do this, saw Chris Hero do this. You use it, Wade Barrett. Oh my God. But I digress. Mr. O'Hagan, was there something that you saw in wrestling this past week that stood out that you actually thought was pretty good, sir?
I'm going to agree that the Cesaro Kingston match was very, very good. I enjoyed the match. I enjoy all of Cesaro's matches.
Oh, hold on a second. That spot where Kofi comes off the top rope with a crossbody and Cesaro catches him and turns it into a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Fucking hell!
Yes, that's just amazing. He's when my friend Seth Skyfire went and worked a match in Ring of Honor, that's who he got to work, and he had nothing but great things to say about him back then. So,
Eddie, something you saw, sir?
Yeah, the entire episode of Ring of Honor from this past week, including good friends of ours, Corey Hollis and Mike Posey on TV.
Damn it! You look. My first one was Kofi and Antonio. Okay, the entire match. I thought the entire match was very well done, except for the commercial break. I can't stand when they go to commercial breaks.
That just means they're giving them time to work, and I genuinely appreciate that, dude.
But my second was Corey and Posey being on Ring of Honor. So yeah. There you go. Always nice to see the brethren rise up to the occasion. So.
Especially, all three of us. All three of us have worked with Mike Posey. All three of us have worked with Corey Hollis. I'm referring in this case to myself, O'Hagan, and Wicked Nemesis. And look, I would love nothing more right now than to see O'Hagan on Ring of Honor, because I think ROH's style would suit O'Hagan to a T. I would love to see Wicked Nemesis on Ring of Honor and kick that wannabe son of a bitch, Truth Martini, off television.
Says name. Yes.
Muth Tartini. Yeah, it's kind of like that Hat Marty reference that everybody didn't get.
Yes.
Son of
That
a
was
buzzer.
funny, though.
But by the same token, I mean, I'm sorry. Look, as a manager, he's useless. As a personality, he's less than useless. He's worse than masturbating with barbed wire, okay?
Oh, my God.
I mean, I'm sorry. He brings nothing to the frickin' table. At least when Wicked Nemesis screams at somebody, you know you've been screamed at.
Yeah, because it's all about him. I would never carry around anything. It's like, oh, the Book of Wicked. It's not about me. It's about the Unlucky Charms, Calm Like a Bomb, Pandora, the rest of the merchants to death. That's what it's about.
Yeah, and I like the factor of the masks that most of the MOD has worn due to the fact that it shows unity. It shows
solidarity.
Exactly. And that's
invisibly visible is what we label it as.
There you go. But yeah, as far as it goes, just about everything they did on Ring of Honor this week, they did right, including I'm really kind of iffy about this factor of showing the final few minutes or the final minute of a world championship match on free TV. I've been a major proponent of when you have a major title change, don't give it away. Sorry, kids, my voice, my perspective. But, that's the reason we have pay-per-views. That's the reason we have video on demand. And if we don't, we damn well need it. Hint, hint. But by the same token, it's one thing to give away the ending. It's another thing to give away segments of the match or highlights or teasers. Because my rationale behind that is, if you see the whole thing on free TV, no matter how many times the announce team says there's nothing like being there in person, somebody's trying to save $10 even in this economy. The trick to it is, there's nothing like seeing it live. Television doesn't always do a product justice. Being there and being a part of the moment, checking it all at the door and coming in and having fun, that's what it's supposed to be all about. It's not pulling back the curtain. It's not trying to smarten everybody up on Twitter and Facebook and MySpace and LinkedIn and Google Plus and RedTube. The fact of the matter is, it's called enjoying yourself in the moment. And you can't always do that on TV. But that's why it's like, and by the way, yeah, we were remiss about it. To Jay Briscoe, hell yes, getting the ROH World Championship. I am glad to see that he finally got it. I'll shut up now. Wick, back to you.
Really quick, O'Hagan, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir? And obviously, talk about your upcoming weekend, sir.
And his awesomeness.
Well, I'm definitely awesome. If you want to get in touch with me, you can call or text me if you have my number, of course, or you can find me on Facebook under Joshua O'Hagan. Just type in Joshua O'Hagan, and it'll find me. It's a picture of the bald guy with tattoos in the tights. That one's me. If you want to see me, I suggest you come to the live GCW event coming up. We've got the Alabama State Fair on the 26th. We've got Powell City, Alabama on the 27th. May 4th, we also have Paul Liddell, day before my birthday. Please bring gifts.
Oh, no.
And yeah, I know. And on top of that, he is supposed to have by now reactivated OHA.
Oh, my twit.
Yeah, your Twitter.
Yeah, I gotta do that. I've been procrastinating.
I know, and I'm trying to get you past that. I love you, brother.
Matt Denton, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir? And your podcast, your weekly podcast, sir. How is that going, and how can everyone listen to that, sir?
So far, I haven't gotten bored of it yet, so it's still going on. You can find it at twopodcast.co.uk. We're probably, now that O'Hagan's brought her up, we're probably going to try and get an interview with Kaylee Ray, because we have contacts like that. You can find me personally at Words from Prism on Twitter or at my website, viciousprism.com.
Fast Eddie Lane, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir, and what do you have upcoming?
I'll just give you a couple of quick ones. Number one, Fast Eddie Lane, LAYNE.com. Also, be sure to keep your eyes open right here. The flagship of the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com. Catch me on Twitter at Fast Eddie Lane. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody starting this coming Friday night at the Alabama State Fair, the Oak Mountain State Fair, the Oak Mountain Spring Fling, whatever the hell Live Nation is calling it. I don't know. I'm going to be there all the way through Sunday the 28th, and I'll also be back with the Iron Horse this coming Tuesday night, 9 o'clock p.m. start. Want to say thank you, Daryl B., Steph, Zerdreus, Awesome BM, Mad Madge, I'm a Wrestling Fan, everybody who came through the chat room tonight. I was having fun reading some of the comments. I just wish everybody could have been a little bit more vocal. But once again, we set up the chat room, and it's always great to be able to see exactly what everybody's saying. So for those of you who took advantage of the chat room, thank you so much.
And also, this Sunday, Beyond Ringside will not be live.
Correct.
Eddie will be at the Alabama State Fair, and I will be probably doing something with the family. Hey, my family will be happy with that. But next Wednesday, as we've spoken about, Hot Like Lava's own Crew Jones and the Human Hand Grenade, Danny Only. Yes, 2 guests next week, and we will definitely be talking more about GCW at Pell City and the Oak Mountain Amphitheaters Alabama State Fair, featuring the Merchants of Death's own, the Unlucky Charms, your GCW Tag Team Champions. So, for Mad Dog Matt Denton.
Boobs.
For Fast Eddie Lane.
For really big bouncy boobs. Or real boobs. I'm good with that, too.
For Mr. O'Hagan.
Leprechaun.
I am the Orc of Ominous Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis. Thank you for joining us right here, the To Be Determined Show. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you all.